Okay, so examples of green spells. Earth magic, natural magic. Like earth grow, used to promote the healthy growth in a particular area or a particular plant by the request of a druid. Druids of Kelshire are known to bless the crops of the peoples, and in order to increase the abundance, fertility rituals, whatnot. I do it over a wide area, specific subject, and a lot of it involved the radiation of the green energy, the life force, positive fertility and abundance, projecting this earth elemental energy into a target, connecting with the light bodies or subtle auras of the land and viewing it with more life from the infinite source, acting as a channel, directing it. It's there, there's an infinite amount of energy, but what you do through magic is basically step into that circuit and direct it to where you find it useful. You could use a wooden tool also to channel the energy, like a wand, calling in the elemental beings to promote the growth, asking the ground elementals to enrich the soil, plant devas to inhabit the gardens of plant life, the elves to guard the area, the sylphs and pixies to circulate the energies. In the Druidic paradigm, there's a belief in natural elementals. That's part of it as spiritual entities that could inhabit a certain locale, the spirit of the land, spirit of the space, which may not be specifically fragmented intelligences of themselves, but rather resonant energies, different frequencies from a different sphere of existence as we perceive them. The same point in space is believed to exist simultaneously through the dimensions, beyond what we're able to perceive. So our relationship with that, we're not always certain of what it actually entails. A couple suggestions from the Monroeian Veralt tradition, and primarily the idea of communicating, awakening, working with trees, some practical applications, Lost Books of Merlin, 21 Lessons of Merlin. Controversial stuff, but applicable. So, for example, tree awakenings. For the tree has to be awoken to do mystical work with it, awakening the grove, awakening sacred trees, personal trees, oracle trees, guardian trees. Bringing nature to life by our participation, our observance of it, our exchange of energy, resonance. Awakening nature to establish rapport with a particular area, to establish that archetypal enchanted forest. By awakening a tree, the druid can stimulate the consciousness of the tree. And you can do this within a grove or a nematon, or you can create your own, or just visualize the nematon. Joining your energy field with the tree, calling upon the guardian of the grove. We see an appearance of that charm of making again, and also the agamic keys, speaking the name in English, in Celtic, and also using the agam of the masters or the guardians, and knocking on the wood 3 times. We see the appearance of that traditional knock on wood, which we do see with awakening trees, also with gaining access into the entities behind them. We'll probably deal with that in the Elven series. Another example, being that out in the wilderness, you can find some things that you can do unbidden that in urban settings or in a city park or under the watch of the Cowans, the uninitiated, There's that fear of being found out, especially with practicing tree magic. I mean, there's almost this, you're crazy if you hug a tree kind of a situation happening. So, you want to be able to work in seclusion, in the woods if possible, in nature. So another example being the tree voice, which is another barrel tradition example, Books of Merlin. You want to find an appropriate tree in the dense woods, possibly your oracle tree if such meets. It should be really hollow, and it's best if that hollow is like two or such megalithic yards off the ground, 6 feet. The working requires 2 speaking stones that have been elementally charged by water, meaning that they were found where water is naturally passed over them, so forth. And it has been suggested to also, from Douglas Monroe sources, cleanse the stones in sea salt, find them near water, go to the tree, place them in the hollow. You might choose a tree or a time responsive to the elemental correspondences, making an elementally appropriate offering, and making sure that the 2 stones touch. And as an oracle tree, these stones I will tap together or click, giving the nature of the question, usually singular being a negative response and 2 being an affirmative response, 1 for no, 2 for yes. And we do find that actually in several other forms of Celtic and Druidic. Stone divination has been collected from the Celtic lore and whatnot. Also, other examples being like where there's a series of like black stones in a bucket and a gold one, and obviously the chances being of the gold one in the midst of them being rare, but that such would be, if you were in a state of truth, then somehow you'd be guided to this. And we see that also in the medieval rules of chivalry and whatnot, the knights and whatnot, the tournaments. If you were in the right and God was on your side, then you couldn't possibly lose. Or if you were wrong or whatnot, if you were in a state of falsehood, then you couldn't possibly win a holy sanctioned tournament. Very interesting concepts for one to explore when looking into ancient mystery.